Welcome to the Ultimate Ferry Guide. So this is all about ferries from Tell Demon Slayer. So you normally have to get to stage 700 first to unlock everything at the bottom. I've done a beginner's guide video to explain everything about unlocking everything and start the game. So if you're not quite there yet, you might not have the options of ferries. So it's right at the bottom next to character, as you can see. I'm tapping on it there. So if you haven't, you might have to progress through the tutorial first. So watch that video. If not, you'd have had this icon, which is called ferries. Now there's 3 tabs in ferries: Ferry Purification, Ferry, and Ferry Exploration. So Ferry Purification, basically get these cages that you different lock. There's different level of grades, and also you can get different things from them. For example, if you start collecting them at the bottom, you can collect them from doing your dailies, you can collect them from the shop, you can buy them from the shop, you can get them from events. There's different places you can get these from. But once you've collected some, what you got to do is you can purify 2 of them per day. They do have cooldowns, so you can either use your gems or you can watch a video. I would recommend to watch a video. If you're not a VIP skippable, just shortens it down, because the more cages you can get, the more ferries you can get. So these ferries, if you click on them, it will tell you what you can expect to get. So this ferry is a ferry region type, which number of ferries are 5, and you can get between grades C and SS because it's a silver one. Same on that one. This is a ferry region, but if you look at the bottom, that's an all one, so there's all regions. So this is a different type of well, you basically get any of them, it goes random, but this is a grading system as well. So probability, there's 8% to get C grade and 0.1% to get an S grade ferry. So if you want to know which ones you want to get, number of ferries on those ones are 3, because it's a bronze ferry, and then you get silver, and then there's a gold one as well. I think it shows it in the shop as well. Let's go to resources. Where's the ferry cage? So in this one, you can see there's a gold one here. So the gold one gives you a number of ferries 7. There's a probability of getting it slightly higher. So you can get bronze, silver, or ferry gold cages. Again, when you get them from the shop in the ferry cage section, the more get of them, you get a chance to get a probability when you fill up the mileage. Now, when you get to ferries, so once you've got these unlocked, you then start collecting ferries. And when you start collecting ferries, which is the middle tabs, these are all the lovely ferries. These are graded. There's 5 grades from C, B, A, S and SS, SS being the highest. Now, the higher the grade, the more abilities and powers you get for all of them. So as you can see from the bottom, if I go for, say, a B1, it gives us 2 options. It gives an every attack for poison spear and a fixed fox damage plus 5%, and the bottom one just gives us 1 attack. But the very top one, which is SS, gives us tons of power and abilities, which is what we're aiming for. We're aiming to get SS as soon as possible. Now, at the top left, there's 3. 1, 2, 3. These are your save slots. So you can get, maybe you want a combination where you want to be pushing. You want to be pushing through the bosses. So you select that one. There might be a day when you want to do farming. So you put your setup there on the second slot. And on the third one, you might say you just want to farm or do your dailies or just do a random little experiment. That could be your third save slot. Now, personally, I just use 1 build all the time because the time it takes to change them. It's time consuming and it's a farming game anyway. So normally I have just 3, which I use all the time. I'll go through my different, I say 3, there's 2 different ones I use. There's this one, this setup, and the second one I use, which I just quickly do now, is this is my dailies one, which I'll go for a sec. So that's my dailies one, and that's my pushing one, and I'll explain why. But I'll explain more details about actually different builds and the reason why in a second. Now, if you go to ferry books, that goes just for all the regions. So ferry book, you've got desert, you've got mushroom, and forest, and those are all the ferries you can get. If you want to know more about them, you can click on them, and it'll tell you a bit about the ferry itself. So this is Simbad. He's a turban monster. He ignores the master who frees him and meddles in everything, but the sand spear he shoots are pretty useful. And there's the company effects. So as it says, C graded does that, but then as you go up one, it does the bottom one plus the fox damage plus the sand spear, and then when you do the S, it does SS does all of them. So you can go for each one if you want to know the backstory, or at least know what you're going to get if you were to get an SS. So that's just a bit of information about each ferry and what regions they're in. So once you've got on that tab, you can go Ferry Explorations. Now, Ferry Exploration is again once a day, so 3 exploration quests are created each day at 00 UTC. You can get rewards after a certain amount of time by equipping the ferries that meet the conditions in the slots and send them on explorations. The exploration has not progressed resets at 8 o'clock. do not forget to explore every day. So as it's very important, you only get number 3 each day, and if you don't use it, it's gone. Now, I've already done mine, so mine hasn't popped up. It's top right, it says resets in 5 hours and 41 minutes. Unfortunately, I can't show you. Now, what it is useful is sometimes there is a thing that people progress too fast, that you get different grading. So again, when you send the amount of ferries on explorations, it could be, for example, it might need 2 it might need, say like 2 A ferries, 1 S ferry, and maybe sometimes 1 double S ferry when you get high level. This is based on the higher you get for max stage. So say if you rush really, really quickly in the first week or two, and you get to stage maybe 7,000, it might ask you to explore like an S ferry, and you haven't collected one yet. So it means you can't send it off. You need all the ferries equipped on the quest for you to send it out. So sometimes it's worth just slowing down and trying to collect your resources, your cages, to get all those ferries and upgrade them. Because if you're not upgrading them and getting them leveled up, you might not be sending them on a quest. So sometimes pushing quite fast might do a bit of damage. So just bear that in mind. If you can't complete the quest, slow down. If you can't fill in the quest, you haven't got enough ferries, just slow it down for a day or two and collect more ferries. Now, when I say upgrading them, you can upgrade them 2 ways. You click on the item itself and you can do max grade. Well, I've got max grade there, so I won't say, but if it wasn't max grade, you click the upgrade button, and when you've got 3 of the same type, say 3 S's or 3 A's or whatever of the type, you can click upgrade and it will upgrade it. I don't have enough in that one. Or easy enough, if you want, is just press upgrade all at the bottom right. I'll just do upgrade all. It just saves time, saves you having to click on each one. But you can upgrade it manually if you want to, or upgrade all. Now, back to Ferry Exploration. The more you send on quests, the more exploration credits you get. Now, what that basically means is you start at level 1. So exploration credibility increases the portions into the maximum stage. The higher the credit rating, the higher probability received. So as I said, the higher the exploration rating, which is based on your stage, the higher probability of a better ferry you get for sending it out on this quest. So, for example, on stage, I'm past stage 4,500, so that's why I've got max. But say if you're at stage 2,000, you might get 40% for a C and only 5% an S, and you won't get any double S's. But as I said, if you speed it up quickly, say if you get there you go. Say if you get to stage 4,000, there might be a 5% chance of getting a double S, which is good. But then again, it might send you on an exploration where you need a double S or an S, probably an S, to actually go on explorations. So just bear that in mind. But this is good because when you get a high level, you get more chance of getting something in return. That just levels up as you go up through the stages. So that's a quick rundown of how you collect ferries, how you combine ferries, and how you send them on quests. Again, these are all done daily, so make sure you send 2 cages to Purify each day, send your 3 on the quest each day, and merge them and equip them each day. Now, what is the best setup? This is all you've been waiting for. Now, there's basically, it's hard to tell because at lower stages, for example, between A and S grade system is a bit of a combination between if it's a great sword, wand, range, dagger, and a basic combo of both. So I would say use your highest one you've got available. It doesn't really matter. You do level these up very quickly. It could take you about, as average person probably takes like 2-3 weeks to start getting like at double S if you play daily every single day. So it's not a long grind. There's 2 reasons I would to set up. When you get to double S, I will give some scenarios for the ATS, but for now, my 2 recommended setups is this one and this one. Okay. My reason being, this is a generic one. This is my daily grind. So this would be Ola, Nyx, and Glacio, and that would be for my everyday. So that's going through, farming, pushing, doing your dungeons. Basically, an all-rounder to do it all. The reason being is just because it's got crit damage, and the other one's as the base damage for just the cooldowns as well. So fox damage, they all get fox damage plus 50%. Defense ordinal monsters reduces by 35, reduces defense, increase extra damage, frost damage as well, for all, slows them down, and extra damage for that. And so it says that one. So it says there for tornado, if there's a monster within tornado range, taking damage over time equal 200% for the attacks or the damage. And there's critical damage as well. So basically, it's just I found these to be the easiest for all-rounders. This one, I'll replace it with Simbad, because Simbad seems to be more stronger on base damage, like attack damage. So it helps me to push. So when I'm at max stage and I can't push anymore, that's when I'll probably swap to this one. Otherwise, I'll just probably use that one. There's no real reason, because most of them are pretty decent anyway. Like Sancho, again, reduce the number of attacks required to activate Song, and you've got attack speed of Song Sancho is really quick, so that's more about speed. The A to S variants that I would recommend if you haven't got two double S nose two. So I would say it's a bit hard. This is possible replacements if you're below S grade. These are recommendations for each build. It is trial and error, because I said if you got, for example, like an B grade crisp, 2S grade Simbads, and I don't know, Nicks, they'd probably be better to use. So this is just a general read, try them different out, try them to yourselves. This is not a foolproof guide. These two, as I said, are pretty good for generic, everyday and pushing. But if you haven't got double S, these are recommended. So for Greatsword, I recommend Chris, Sancho, Yeti. For Wand, I recommend Simbad, Sancho, and Aqua. For ranged, it's Aqua, Simbad, and then third other could be Nyx or Oliver. Totally up to you. Dagger would be Simbad, Sancho, and Aqua. And that's pretty much it for the top four. Again, that's just what's the community's recommending, and it's on Discord, and other people's done their own variations. I would recommend joining my Discord or the Tell Demon Slayer Discord and just have a look and sharing your different fairies as well. But I hope this guide has helped in some way, and at least gives you some guidance, a bit more about understanding about fairies. If you've got any questions, leave a comment below. I'm trying to do more guides as well. So if you like these videos, you want to see more, subscribe and hit notifications. So as soon as I get them out, you'll be notified. Apart from that, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.